Hey, welcome back. Today, let's talk about another concept from the behavioral science, which is the endowment effect. It describes the human tendency to value more those things that belongs to us, or if we experience a sense of ownership over things, that we tend to value them more than those things that we don't have any ownership feelings on. And this feeling of ownership can be triggered instantaneously when we are shopping that object, no matter it is virtually or physically, and without any previous emotional attachment to that object or any backstory. Let's find out more how the big companies and brands are using this concept of endowment effect for their business to increase their sales. Let's find out. So one of the first and most famous research on this concept of endowment effect has been carried out in the year of 1991, and the research was on two groups of people, of course randomly selected, and a bunch of mugs were given to one of those groups as sellers, and the other group was asked to negotiate on the price of the mug as a potential buyer. The outcome was really interesting. Every time the median price of the sellers was double of the negotiated price of the buyers. Simply put, buyers wanted to buy those mugs exactly with the half price of the sellers that they want to sell with. So why this thing happened, that why the sellers wanted the double price of the mugs? The researchers explained why this phenomenon happened. And the reason was that these mugs were given to the sellers quite a while ago, and they have developed a kind of emotional attachment to those mugs. And this leads those sellers to value those mugs more than those buyers, because those buyers, until yet, they don't have any kind of emotional attachments and any backstory with those mugs. So this is the concept of endowment effect. When you are attached to any object, you tend to value them more, even with a monetary price. So now we know what this concept of the endowment effect is all about, and how do we situate it in our behavioral science. So now let's have a look how companies leverage this endowment effect in their marketing strategies. The researchers have shown 4 distinct ways to leverage this endowment effect for their marketing strategies. Let's go through them one by one. The first one is the visualization. The visualization describes the content consisted of photos, videos, audios, texts, explicitly describe to the potential customers how the future situation looks like if you own the product. So bringing the customers in future situation enable them to imagine owning that product, that eventually triggers the customers to own the product for real. The next strategy is the tactical experience. This describes that highly talked about touch and feel experience of any product. Let's understand this with an example. According to a report by Business Insider, that in an Apple store, those Apple MacBooks are showcased with their lids open exactly at 76 degrees with the surface. And in that same report, they rationalized 2 main reasons for that. The first one, if any potential customer is seeing that MacBook from the back with the lid open at 76 degrees, especially for MacBook where there is the Apple brand logo which is bright enough, so that is very much visible to the potential customers. And secondly, if a customer sees the same MacBook from the front, then the tilted lid tempts the potential customer to adjust the screen according to their comfort, and that spontaneously keep them a touch and feel of the product. So these two ways were two strategical practices to ignite customers' endowment effect. Now let's talk about the third strategy. The third strategy is the test of ownership. Under this section, trial periods, test drives, lenient return policies, samples are really hard for the customers to let go. And we have a few examples to showcase how these big companies are using this endowment effect on the potential customers, which are us. The fourth and the final strategy that has shown by this research is the entitlement. This describes that the companies and brands' communication with the customers, that the customers are entitled to enjoy their product or services, bring them closer to use that service or the product. With an example, we can understand it in a better way. All those membership programs by the brands, they fall under this category. For example, Nike Plus membership, which was titled as reserved for you. Under this offer, Nike will individualize, customize your shoe, the shoe you like and you want to buy from them. They will keep it aside, the shoe size, the color, the design you want. So that is a way to showcase to the customers that Nike, the company, cares for you. It prioritizes you and your individual needs that they want to take care of. This is exactly the strategy of entitlement under this concept of this behavioral science, which is called the endowment effect. When was the last time you have experienced or used any kind of endowment effect as a customer or as a seller? I would really like to know your story if you have any. With that note, take care and thank you so much for being here today.